What's going on, guys? Time for YouTube recap. Another stellar green day, as we always like to do. Show you how I predicted the markets today for the downside. Posting in my Discord this morning, very early, 4:09 a.m., shorting 21.29.6 on the old NQ. We nailed a couple of downside targets to the first scalps, some small ones. All the Express accounts mirrored there, 541.78. The Apex accounts, this was the first trade of the day. But we steadily broke down everything per our Discord calls in the pre-market. We had a nice little $3,000 opener trade. And as we move into the day, I did some live trading. So if you guys are interested in seeing some live trading, the link's going to be here on X. And we'll post it as well. So I did some live trading this morning. Just example on the Apex. And then we went into more downside. Made a lot of tweets and a lot of calls here saying that the SPY had room down to 597.61 for back testing anchors. And I posted a picture of this on X as well. Don't know where the picture went, but should have been right here. But regardless, posted this over 3 hours ago. And then, of course, more downside. Now, I noticed right here, here's the post. 598, 596, hours and hours before it happened, of course. And before the anchors came back down. Okay. So in our last one, we did have a lot of our members killing it here. So big props to Mr. John there. Just wanted to shout him out. He's doing fantastic. You can see what he got here out of the short. Huge momentum downside, because I did post in my Discord for my private group and I said after 11 a.m. Central, after the algos close in the EU, look short for the remainder of the down day. We're going to get at least 1 to 3 red days here starting the week. Why? Because euphoria, it's over. So the presidential election comes in for last week. Everybody gets hype. Everything's going crazy. All-time high FOMOs. The algos grabbed it and gapped it and gapped it and gapped it on the daily chart, right? Coming into this week, can it still go up? Sure. Is the probability heading up? Nope. So generally speaking, we should see a pullback starting Monday and Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, but we're going to keep it small. So in the next couple of days, we're going to keep it red. That was our call today for a short, and I called late day short. It was going to take a while to come back down. So our members were merking that. So our Apex accounts are pretty good here. We can get into it. We did 1,233.40. This set of PAs, we are up 5,582.80 so far. We haven't missed a single green day. This is trade day number 6 completed. So on to number 7 for tomorrow. And we have beaten the threshold. So we are on day 6 of 100% greens. I have made no less than 790 a day and the highest of 1,200. And in between that, I'm only aiming for 800 to 1,200. That is what Apex's 30% rule is going to be on my 100K account. So we're not going to go over that. We're going to keep her nice and flow and steady. So 100% accuracy so far on all 6. 2 more trade days. And with Apex's new rules, I could just flip $50 twice if I wanted and get my $2,500 payout. And we'll update you tomorrow as we get into that. So Apex accounts are good. On to the fun little top step accounts. Holy moly. As you can see here, we got them all linked down, all the Express accounts here. We got 1,024, 1,015, 1,008, and 800. So again, all the Express funded mirrors doing very well on Top Step, as transparent as always. And we did start some 50K accounts there. We made $1,000 back to back with only one NQ contract today and Friday. So let's get into it. We had a beautiful algo prediction here. So as you have either came to my channel before or seen how we utilize these, we look for these tail-ended drawings here, right? And we do a high-low. This one's off by a smidge. Probably did that on mobile. And then I pointed it to the downside. So what we do is we look for these algo systems here in pre-market to give us a little bit of a love, right? So we draw a fib box. I pointed this one to the downside because obviously we were downside biased today. And then we came about to the gap fill. Now, again, my live trades, if you go check out that video, it shows me shorting the SPY into yesterday's highs for the scalp. Check that out if you want. And this is why. So this fib box right here, we had completed, right? A open down to the golden pocket consolidation. I said it looks very weak. We should just kind of walk down to extension. And we called the bottom right here at yesterday's lows. Okay. Then we got a fresh little reversal back up. And then I noticed something on the shy, right? And if you watch my channel here, we're really big on intraday algorithms, tagging and using magnets. 100 EMA on the 5-minute chart was never tagged. Okay. Missed it. That is a miss. Also known as a shy from us. So we're going to look later on in the day to retrace back to there, even after the late day short. So again, for my team, I told everybody right here, said you guys pay attention to after 10:30, 11 Central, okay? 11 is usually the sweet spot. And after that, I said short in between 10:30 and 11. So this is right here where the Euro algos close, right? So the EU closed down. And I told him as long as we stay under the VWAP, just short it. So we had a beautiful short, and we planned it for after 11 a.m., came down to fresh lows, and of course, I did about 20-some points there on ES. Beautiful call this morning. And if you take your algorithm from the pre-market here, slide it to the right, man, does this look easy, huh? One and done trade. So the fib box pointed to the downside price action. It's the 666 5-minute. We'll go over why that's important in a second. And boop, right to the 2618, to the T. And then back to the 1618. That's what algorithms do in between Fibonacci a lot of the time. That's their personality. So after this fib was done on the algo, dumped to the 2618, we generally retrace, right? And then why is the 666 so important in this measure up? Well, it's how many days we haven't seen the 666. So again, moving average shying and algorithms that like complete circuits will leave open circuits like this. This is a 666 SMA. It is not tagged. Now, of course, the circuit ran for a while, which pretty obvious. Election week, hype, fear, and greed are always the indicators we start with. It is not support, resistance, fibs, moving average. It's hype, fear, and greed. As you're coming into the day, what news piece? What's going on in the world news events? What war has started? Do we have CPI? Do we have Powell? Do we have FOMC? That is the first and foremost number one thing you always look at. Technical analysis is second to hype, fear, and greed. Okay. So with this hype move of the election running us up from November 5th, putting on the pressure to the upside, squeezing on the Trump win, we ran away from technical moving averages. And that was last week. That's what we call euphoria, right? That's delusion. It just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping to all-time highs. Eventually we'll come back down. But the catalyst was obviously the election last week. So coming into this week, we can calm down a little bit. Monday has no data, no Fed speaks, no nothing. So big expectation on calming down because we don't have fear, hype, and greed to jolt us back up one more time. Okay. So back to the 666. We shied it right here on 11/5, right? The presidential election. And then from the 5th on, one was the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So we had 4 days total of not hitting the 666, right? So finally today and starting the week, we have a perfect magnet, a perfect algo to the downside as we just discussed. And where is that target going to go? Well, the 666 right here in the fuchsia, light purple. And it hit it. And as Q's personality, it always slips past support resistance, definitely moving averages, and then continues. So the first interaction tag of the 666 was a very big deal. We call it support. More often, rolling support. Why? Because the moving average is chasing and rolling up to candle price action. And then when that candle price action finally clicks into a 666 for the first time in 4+ days, we are going to get a reaction. And that is the close of the algo circuit. And pow, that is what we call a first tag scalp. And I am huge on algorithm circuits on first tag scalp. So if something hasn't been here for 4 or 5 days, and then we finally tag it, it's going to have the opposite effect more often than not. So, and the Fibonacci, we walked itself down too. So we broke out of the zone, 1618, 2618. And after a circuit is completed from the fibs, we went to the 1618 and 2618. It reverses. Then it goes back to the 1618 and then the 100 fib. That's a general ideology, right? And then we had anchors as well. So remember, I called this on X way before it happened on the drive down. I posted 2 of these anchors saying we'll come down as low as 597.60s, and that was my bottom of the day. Here's that bottom of the day on our anchor. Enough said, pretty simple, right? So nice and easy call. Magnet coming back down, algos completing the circuit of no tags. The problem with that is we got a lot of circuits that we're looking at that need tags. 595, 590.68, 589.79. There's a pair of them. There is a lot more to the downside. So that's why we're kind of continually looking for a 600 big psychological half whole dollar that we had mentioned in our chat today. Anything under, short it, right? If you've seen the price action come down under that 601 tag, bumps its head right into 600, obvious, lower highs and down. So now if it stays under the next half whole dollar, so if we're walking it down under 600, we have a little bit of a retrace and we have some catch up anchors to come to. So we are leaving our shorts on, right, for a little bit. Now, that was pretty much our whole scalp day on QQQ and SPY. And that's how we got everything clean. And we're just going to take a quick peek here at SPY. SPY also had an algo this morning to this upside. Same exact thing right here at 3 a.m. That's exactly when stocks in Central open up on the time. And then we had some back and forth on this one. So let's take this fib and we're going to point it to the downside because we had it to the upside. You notice the 2618 shied 601. It's all pre-market stuff, but still valid. And we come into this. And we're going to point this fib to the downside on this little high range. It's not a clean algo, more of a high range but it's still going to pay attention. Same outlook as the QQQ. QQQ had that beautiful algo. SPY only has this chunky candle, which we fibbed out. So SPY failed, and we said into VWAP. And then again, if you watch my live trading video, I'm talking about this trade right here. And as we came into the SPY ES short this morning, it was yesterday's highs, parabola to the downside, okay? And I'll give you guys a little hint on algorithms and circuiting, because on this one, we came down to yesterday's highs, right? Yesterday's highs is hidden right here under this weekly, and that was our over-under. So as we opened up and pushed into VWAP, which is dash purple, think right here. And then you see me live trading. I'm shorting right here into the 200 SMA and to the VWAP. And I said we're going to come down to yesterday's highs, right? And then you see me knock out about 4 to 7 points, entered right on the top, came to yesterday's highs and closed out about 4.5, 5 points. And we got the tag. First algo tag, right? Because we opened up in a gap up, pushed to yesterday's highs, closed said gap, popped back up, and continued, right? And then it went all the way back down. We called the reversal down here as well. Well, where was our target reversal? Well, gaps in first tag algos. These are magnets. Look very close. Notice that there's price action skipping on the minute chart. These become viable targets in areas of support and resistance and magnets, right? TOS doing its own thing here, trying to draw a line. Bam. Oh, 16's trying. There we go. All righty. So when SPY came down, we had a lot of extensions here, and especially on the ES. We had divergence flowing here at about 9:29:30. It took its sweet time after a fresh low, right? You see that fresh low, and then it reverses off support because novice people won't take the time to set trend hard open closes. So a lot of the time, again, we see a bottom put in on the market, 598.67, and then you'll see a tail or a wick come down, eat those stop losses of novice traders that won't wait for a hard open close candle. This is what a hard open close candle looks like. It's a candle developed under a low. So if this, or high, doesn't matter which one, but if this is the low a day, and then we're coming into support, and that support is based off RSI, MACD, and giving us reversal tendencies, aka, hey, Brandon said we're only going down to 597.60, 598. If we're hitting a early support for the reset to go down further later, which we had called, we're going to have a temporary long side. So these hard open closes are what you use to not get stopped out by little wicks like this. You need a whole candle developed underneath the fresh low in terms to stop out, not just a little wick down. They always stop you out. So if you went long here and then you're like, yeah, we're good, and then you put a stop out at even, no. Can't do that. Hard open closes, okay? So we got the reverse here. Back up to, and again, I'll give you a hint. You don't need one, but it's to the gap. We left this algorithm gap open after a beautiful rejection call. Lower high to top, ran away, finally reversed. Again, we're seeing the MACD, we're seeing the RSI, price action has divergence, fresh low scamola, and up she went right to the gap, okay? And then back tested 200. And again, our later in the day short call, I said just walk away from the charts for a while, guys. After 11 a.m., let's go money to the downside. And right here, 11 a.m., consolidation, moving averages caught back up short, double top, double top, double top. Notice those patterns right there. Double top the open, double top a couple hours later, double top here. Still beautifully structured. All lower lows, lower low out of sequence, lower low out of sequence, and the panic. And that's what brought us down to our 597.60 target for the late day. Okay. And yeah, that is all the little systems that we had used, slow and steady. And then she just chopped off the end of the day here, and we're going to hope to continue overnight. So most likely we're going to get a downside move overnight on the ES, and that'll be our prediction, last but not least. So we're going to go into the ES here, and we're going to see, we're going to go 5-day, 5-minute here quick. And what you want to see is it break underneath probably 6,000 for some really good speed to the downside. But because the 666, like we just discussed, pop back up, it's going to bring us temporary support. It's going to push back. We have all moving average tags now, even the 666. So any kind of progression of pop to drop and continuation, watch that break overnight, because if 6K breaks, it's going to speed up a lot. Big psychological half whole dollar, obviously. And then we're going to keep cutting down to some of the tags that we need on the longer standing time frame. Again, just going to the daily chart here, and we have some huge breakout candles here that need Fibonacci backtest. And what we mean by that is some stuff that, like here on 11.6, went super high the day after election. And then we're into that 1618. This is not quite on the body where I want it. So I'm fibbing out the body right here. There we go. There we go. Okay, so fibbed out the body, puts the top at 60.56. Very close. We shied it by about 3 points. but the golden pocket here was never tagged. So the daily chart on the large day after, on the breakout candle here, was never tagged, right? So we need for price action to stay under 60.56 and progress down to 5966. And if that bounces and we continue for a little bit of a pullback, we're going to go down to the golden pocket fib box of this guy. If that doesn't happen, we're only going to come down to the 100 and it's going to shoot right back up. But regardless of either one of these plays, we'll address it when we come down to the Fibonacci. The next video is coming up. But right now it is 100% downsided. We have an all-time high doji candle, so a lot of the time the body of direction is going to be my pick. So this is an all-time high doji. So my continuation pick is anything under 6,029 goes 6,000, breaks 6,000, goes 5,966. There's your prediction. Those are all the price levels. That's the only way I would use this right here. So as you come into your 5-day, 5-minute, utilize that body of the all-time high right there. Obviously, the half candle retrace and close. If we open up, we start trending back down, goes to lows, breaks lows, heads for 6K. Let's go. Let's see it. We'll come back tomorrow, see how the prediction work. If you want to support the channel, you want to trade live with me every single morning like we do, the link is in the description. We do this as Zoom, Share, and Discord all live. Talk about the market. And if you want to support the channel, we go through Apex Trading Funds. TG33 is your 80% code if you want to support me. Plug it into the Apex accounts. We much appreciate it. That sounds good. We'll see you in chat. If not, we'll see you on the next video. You guys take care.